Vitale. On this episode of Learning the Kitchen, I'm going to show you how to make a linguine with shrimp at Diablo. It is a linguine with a spicy cherry tomato and white wine sauce. It is absolutely delicious, incredibly easy to make, and I'm going to show you how it's done. So here's what you need. The shrimp that I've already peeled, and I've saved the shells for a little shrimp stock that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. A 15-ounce can of cherry tomatoes, some white wine, some garlic, hot pepper flakes, fresh parsley, linguine, and you're also going to need extra virgin olive oil and salt and pepper. Now, let me tell you what I've done. Let me bring this over to you. What I've done is I've taken the peels of the shrimp and I've put them in about 2.5 cups of water, and with just some stalks of parsley, some peppercorns, and a couple cloves of garlic. Now, what I'm making is my own shrimp stock. It's delicious, it's easy, and it just adds more flavor to my dish instead of using water, which doesn't add anything to me. And besides, if you're buying something that's a little bit pricey like shrimp, you want to make sure you use the whole thing. So we're only going to be using about 1/2 cup of this, but you know what? Once I strain it and I cool it, I'm going to be able to freeze this for up to a month, and it's a great base for any seafood soups, stews, you name it. It's fantastic. It's something that you can keep on hand at all times to jazz up any weeknight meal. I'm going to get this back on the stove for a couple more seconds. I have a pan here preheating with about 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, and you also, before you start, you want to make sure you have a pot full of water coming up to a boil for the linguine. Here we go. Now that that's preheating, the oil's preheating, I'm just going to strain my shrimp stock. Smells delicious. Got that ready. And you can see, look at that beautiful color. I mean, would you rather not use that or water, or you would rather use that over water any day. So, I'm gonna add the garlic. There we go. And you want to cook the garlic for about a minute or so until it becomes very fragrant, but you don't want it to brown, because if it browns too much, it becomes bitter. Garlic is perfect. Sizzling. Add in my hot pepper flakes. You can do this as much or as little as you want. Depends on how hot you like your food. Spicy, I should say. Cook this for a few seconds, because if the hot pepper flakes burn, everything tastes kind of bitter. The wine goes in right away. Beautiful sound, isn't it? You gotta love it. Now, I do want to make a note that in this video, I'm only making enough for 2 servings, but in my recipe on my website, it will be enough for 4 very hungry people. So, it's going to be awesome. You want to let the wine cook out for about a minute. Oh, you want to let the alcohol cook out for about a minute, and then we'll add on our shrimp stock. And this is over medium-high heat. Wine's cooked for about a minute now. Time to add in the shrimp stock. Wonderful. Let that cook for literally 30 seconds. You want this to come to a boil, and then we'll add in our cherry tomatoes. Time to add in the cherry tomatoes. Now I'm using canned cherry tomatoes. It is one of the biggest bargains at the grocery store, because they're always perfect. They're always beautifully juicy, and they're canned at the peak of their freshness, so you're guaranteed to have the best cherry tomatoes. And like I said, it's really one of the best bargains to get at the store, because you would normally have to buy probably 2-3 pints to get enough to make this kind of sauce. So now that we got cherry tomatoes in, seasoning it, salt and pepper. I'm actually starting with salt first this time. That's a new one. There we go. Beautiful. Lid on. Medium-high, 10 minutes. Then we're going to take the lid off and cook it for about 5 more minutes without the lid, so all the water can evaporate and the sauce can become a little bit thicker. Now, taking the lid off, and this has been off for about 5 minutes, and so you can see how thick that is? That's exactly what you want. Wonderful. Wonderful. Let me add the shrimp in. You always want to add the shrimp within the last about 3 or 4 minutes or so of cooking, because you want them to retain, we can get rid of ourselves with that one. You want them to retain a beautiful, beautiful flavor, and you don't want to, you don't want to overcook them, otherwise they will be really tasteless and dry. And what I've done is I've left the tail on because that's just the way we've done. I've always done it in Italy. That's how anybody always does their shrimp dishes in Italy. We always leave the tail on. Easy eating, and it also just looks beautiful. You want to just cook these for about 3 to 4 minutes. Wonderful. Turn the heat up a tad bit more. Great. And I've also got my pasta cooking. That should be ready the same time the shrimp's ready. And then we're going to toss the whole thing together with some fresh parsley, and it's going to be heaven. Shrimp are just about perfect. Whoop, drain my pasta. Wonderful. Smells so delicious. Let this cook together for the last 30 seconds. Heat all the way up to high. Scatter over fresh chopped parsley. Look at that. That is amazing. That is really amazing. And we're ready to serve this up. Let's bring it to the table. Amazing. Look at that. That look delicious or what? One of the most important things about this is that you cook the linguine al dente. They cannot be overcooked because it will ruin the whole dish. I guarantee it. This is so good. And you shouldn't have the linguine swimming in the sauce. The sauce should just adhere to it, but it shouldn't be swimming in it. Whenever you make seafood, any kind of pasta and seafood, that's just the way it should be. Always clean your plate. Taking a little bit of fresh parsley, putting it right on the side like so. And there you have it. Is that beautiful or what? Just make sure you do not overcook your linguine, and definitely never overcook your shrimp because they will be tasteless and dry when they should be full of flavor and plumptuously delicious. I just made that word up. So to get this recipe, guys, check out my website, www.laureninthekitchen.com. I see you guys next time. Bye-bye.